Yeah,
That's gonna happen.
and cleaning up that whole site, you know, I went down there, you know, you get used to the sites in town, you drive around, and you kind of don't even think about it, but I went down and I walked the site just the other day, and it's in desperate need of repair. And, you know, they presented their case, let's see where it goes from there.
Any particular issues you have, Mike? Concerns?
No, parking was an issue, certainly traffic. We were waiting for a report, we're hoping to see it in the next couple of weeks, and we get ready for the board meeting.
Okay,
And we have our traffic engineer sitting right here tonight, so.
excellent.
Council?
The only thing I would have to say is that in order to attempt to benefit Edgewater with funds of some type, we have to look into that. It's not a normal pilot. The land is owned by the DEP, where the boat is. We get no taxes from the boat at this point because it's exempt land from the state. So there's a lot of issues to look at here. It's not going to be as simple as at first blush it appears to be. But I am
Okay.
made aware of it and we will be working on it.
Anybody else want to comment on the thing? Moving
Take as
on.
long as you need, Joe,
Yeah,
to
really.
get that done.
Yeah.
Take as long as you need.
I'm going to assign it to the better half.
Right.
Next topic, the 2015 budget discussion. Anyone want to open up that discussion on the budget? Lewis, perhaps?
Well, looks like we're,
Oh, can we, let's shake these guys?
But we'll have to say.
Okay.
Glad to be.
looks like we're gonna do all right this year. The average increase per household, we came out to $25 per average assessed home, which is better than we've done in the last several years. We've added about $39 million in new assessments, which helped out tremendously. And we're gonna be increasing our reserves, which will help us out for future budgets. And we've done some cost cutting, and that's about it. The biggest increases we've had have been, again, our health insurance, and some new hires. And we're building up the reserve for uncollected taxes. So the overall financial picture of the borough is looking pretty good.
What's the timeline for the, to roll it out, Greg?
Introduction tentatively scheduled for the next meeting, which is the 16th. Right? 20, excuse me.
I haven't been online, the last day, do we have it yet, the preliminary, or did you go?
No, we'll hopefully have that in anticipation of the meeting.
So, Lou, you were saying that 25 average per year,
Right.
right, so that's only a few dollars per quarter. And then we're being recommended, it's being recommended by our finance guys that we may use that, we should probably be using that for reserves, as opposed to, let's say, just announcing a zero.
Right,
In
we
the
could have
bank.
done, better than that.
Right,
And for the sake of increasing our reserves,
right.
we've increased that number.
So instead of looking like heroes for a month or two, we can actually do the right thing and get some reserves.
So
Okay,
it's gonna help us out.
that's what it is then.
I kind of won't go with the reserves. It's $25 is a very,
Yeah.
you know, it's a minimal increase compared to what I've seen for other municipalities in Bergen County. Okay, now we have some items we need to do and go to a closed session here. Is this on the agenda here going next, council?
Yes.
So we
Need a motion.
I have a motion to go to closed session.
Does the attorney tell us what it is before or after? Are you gonna tell us, Joe, what we're doing exactly so we're clear?
Well,
I'm just asking procedure.
according to the agenda, we're going to discuss contract negotiations, ongoing contract negotiations. We're going to have a conference with Mr. Carson, special counsel, to get an update on where the litigation is going. And we're dealing with some insurance proposals which affect the health insurance and of the borough.
Did we think there was, is there anything that special, and maybe there isn't, special counsel can tell us in public that, just to kind of is there? I mean, because I know this is all sensitive.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
First of all, Councilman Henwood,
I would agree with what First Environment said in terms of the amount of testing that was done at this site. It was extensive, and I think we have a very good, and the borough has a very good picture of what was there and what was removed, and I think we're well protected from that perspective. Today, we had our first initial conference with Judge Hammer in the federal court. He is the magistrate assigned to the matter. The judge assigned is Judge Salas, who is the same judge who had the New Jersey Housewives. That's how most people know her around here anyway. Anyway, so there was an initial conference there. We have the parties, which is the Borough of Edgewater is obviously the plaintiff. Waterside Construction, Davies Brothers, North River Associates, and Mr. Davies are the defendants, along with Alcoa and Terms. The Davies parties instituted the third-party action against Neglier Associates. Alcoa instituted third-party claims against the County of Bergen and the River Road Improvement Phase, having to do with some of the PCB material. At some point, there was a deal with the county where it could be placed under roads. All those types of claims are contractual claims, and we're really not concerned about them for our purposes. The discovery phase, the initial discovery phase will be an exchange of paper discovery. All the testing we perform, which is in a, they call it a Dropbox, we put it electronically, that First Environment is finalizing. Then it will be all the paper that we're required to exchange per the federal rules. Each side will have an opportunity to serve requests on the other side, asking specific questions and requesting certain documents be produced. We anticipate that that next phase will take about 90 days. We're scheduled to return to the court on July 15th to provide the court with an update and to see if there's an opportunity to then maybe expedite the schedule. Right now, we're talking about 18 months of discovery because of all the parties that are involved. Trial date probably in 2 years, though that might be expedited. Obviously, that's in the event it goes to trial. Most cases are settled. It's too early to predict here, but we would hope everybody would be reasonable and we'd come to a reasonable resolution. So that's basically where we are in the litigation.
Make the motion. Make the motion. Make a motion to go to a closed session.
So moved.
Okay, Councilman Henwood?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore?
Yes.
Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
And Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Thank you.